Okay, I'm excited to talk to a Chilliwack hyperlocal expert here, especially for those investor clients. And was it Karanvir or Karan?
Karan, yeah.
Karan, perfect. Thanks for that. So we're going to talk about where the Chilliwack market is at. We're at the end of the end of the summer 2023, and a lot of it. We had one mutual client, of course, that's what got us talking, and they bought what looked like, I guess it was just over a mil. It was worth a lot more not long ago, and it has a really great Airbnb potential. So before we get to the Airbnb stuff, for people looking at potential investors, right, who want to make money either on an Airbnb cash flow property or, of course, buying a lot, subdividing it, and getting all fancy, they like to get their hands a bit more dirty. There's two kinds of investors that I'm seeing. What's your overall advice in terms of trends and how you're seeing the market buying in Chilliwack right now?
Yeah, right now the Airbnb trend is good as well right now because of all the employees coming into the area. So
Hmm.
as you guys know, there's a pipeline that's coming from Alberta to BC.
Hmm.
So a lot of the construction right now is based out of the Chilliwack area. That's where the
Hmm.
pipeline, a lot of the construction is happening there, and it's going to happen for probably another year or so. So I personally have a couple of Airbnbs in Burnaby as well. I mean, not Burnaby and
Chilliwack.
Chilliwack.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're doing pretty well right now. I've noticed a lot of the guests that are staying, they're just booked by their companies. So it's just a lot of their employees that are staying at the property. So like typically for like a three-bedroom Airbnb, you're getting about 250 a night in terms of Airbnb
Hmm.
revenue, which is a lot better than renting long term in that area. Yeah.
Right. Wow. So it's a 250 a
So it's
night.
a good potential.
Okay. And
Yeah.
sorry, that again is
For a
because
three bedroom, yeah. Yeah.
there's a lot of blue collar people for a specific project. That's one of the trends.
Yeah.
And that project is at least another
Yeah.
year. But when that project's done, they're all going to move out. This is a bit of a timely opportunity, I guess, if you bought it now, or are there more
Yeah.
things that are going
I
to
mean,
keep
in the
you out there?
summertime, you obviously still have tourists that are coming into the area as well to visit like the local like camping grounds and lakes, and there's obviously Cultus Lake, which is close by.
Yeah.
So there's still potential for tourism in the summer months,
Got
and
it.
in the winter, fall, that's when you want to just focus on like the other employer side as well. But I mean, there's always travel year round in BC, so you get guests of all sorts.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got Cultus for the summer. You've got Harrison Hot Springs for the winter. That's the big one, right? That's where I feel like it's
Yeah.
busy year round. You've got this thing that they're building, so that's a bit of another variable. What other?
In the future, yeah, they're thinking about like a ski resort in that area as well. So
Oh wow.
that's I think the Aquilani family's getting into that, but it's still an application with the BC government, so that could be a couple of years still. But that's for future growth of the area.
Well, that's huge. That could be like the next Whistler.
Yeah. Plus, you've heard about all these developments that are happening there. Like Molson Canadian has their factory there, and then Red Bull is opening their factory in Chilliwack as well. So the economy just keeps on growing over there.
Wow. So that's
Yeah.
really growing. And so why are all these people going there? Because it's just a lot of cheap land, or like why?
The city is very open to the development as well, and they're giving a lot of incentives for these businesses to move there.
Okay.
Plus, you get a lot more land for a lot less money, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like who's a competitor to Chilliwack? Is it like somewhere in the interior? Like well, this is like a pretty growing area, attracting a lot of
I mean,
interest.
Has a lot of business as well because the
Yeah.
city is really open to development. And
Yeah.
then Abbotsford and Langley, they obviously have like warehouse spaces too, but Chilliwack has a lot more land that hasn't been developed. That's why.
Right. And that's where you could get the most growth. Okay, that's super interesting. So the lot, so
Mhm.
250 a night on Airbnb. That's on the and so like in generally that's going to be fairly busy all year round, more so in the summer than the winter at before the ski resort, of course.
Yeah, I've been running it for the last 4 months there in Chilliwack, and it's been pretty much fully booked for those 4 months.
Okay,
I have bookings till the end of September right now as well, so
got it. Okay.
it's fairly good still. Yeah.
Yeah, and so winter will be a hit or miss, I assume.
Yeah, but I with that property there it has 5 bedrooms. So
Yeah.
3 of the bedrooms I do Airbnb, 2 of the bedrooms I do a long-term rental.
Okay.
So just to have some flexibility, right? Yeah.
Got it. So you do want to
You
divert.
always want to have like that consistent tenant as well, right? Just in case things fluctuate.
Got it.
Plus you can't do full Airbnb in terms of the BC government regulations as well, right? Because they don't consider a short-term short-term tenant as like occupying the property because you have to worry about the speculation tax and vacancy tax and all that as well, right?
Right. So the move is to have a full-time renter to fill that void. Just
Unless you're living in
of
part of the
course.
property
Yeah.
yourself, yeah.
But a full-time renter can do the trick basically.
Yeah, that's considered like a full-time occupant of the property, yeah.
Okay.
Or at least 6 months of the year it has to be fully occupied, which is like what the BC government wants.
Got it. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, got it. Nice. So in terms of like the property type that has the highest return in terms of, I don't know, like cap rate or appreciation, I mean, there's condo, townhouse, there's obviously a single family home, and there's like just buying land and subdividing. You want to talk about the
Yeah.
ones that are might be the clear winners in terms of like even like fairly current cash flow and appreciation lift?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest one is just buying like a single family home that's like an older single family home, but it's on a piece of land that is like has potential for future growth, and where you can either subdivide it or you can rezone it to build a duplex, which is 2 units on the one piece of land instead of the existing single family home. So with those ones, you still have the existing house where you can rent it out and still gets a little bit of cash flow and help with the payments in the short term. And then in the long term, once it's rezoned, you can either sell it off to another developer or decide to develop it yourself. And once you do, like, the rezoning process is not too expensive either. It's like $10,000-15,000 you can get it rezoned in Chilliwack.
How long will that take?
For a duplex, it's fairly quick. You can get it done in less than 6 months. But if you want to subdivide and turn the one parcel into two like legal parcels, it can take a little bit longer. It can take 6 months to a year for that process because you have to rezone and then apply for a subdivision. So it's a little bit of a longer process.
Right, but
But
you're originally rezoning to get two parcels. Are you saying you rezone it for different purposes?
there's two different rezonings you can do. There's like the zoning for single family for the majority of Chilliwack is R1A, which just allows you to build one like single family. Like you can tear down that single family and build another single
Oh,
family on top.
okay. Got it.
But you can rezone that either to R1B, which is just you can build a duplex on that parcel, or you can rezone it to R1C, which lets you convert it into two parcels. So if you do the R1B, then it's like less than 6 months, you can just get it rezoned and then apply for a duplex right away. But if you do R1C, then you get it rezoned and then apply for a subdivision to get two legal parcels.
Okay,
So
very.
instead of one parcel, you'll have two parcels, and then after that, you can apply for two separate single family homes on that one piece of land originally.
Right, that's back to R1As.
No, it just R1C is the new zoning then, because it's a
Okay.
smaller single family parcel of land. Yeah.
Okay, so you have two.
R1B is like R1A is like the full size one. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, R1A is just to get
So
it.
suppose you have like a 66-foot wide lot, which is like 8,000 square feet, which is R1A. You get it rezoned to R1C. You can get two parcels which are 33 feet each, and they'll be about 4,000 square feet each. Then you can build two separate houses on those pieces of land, and then in the future sell off both houses or rent them out or do whatever you want with them, right?
Love it. Okay. Super useful. In terms of I guess with the and just some numbers by the way. It's like so let's say we do that. What are you seeing the appreciation on single family homes, duplexes? I know it went up a lot after COVID. It's come back down.
Yeah.
But like you had some anecdotes before we hit record around just the opportunity.
Yeah, right now, like some like pieces of land which are subdividable, they're going between like 700 and $800,000 for which have like an existing home. Obviously, if the existing home's a little bit nicer, then the piece of land will be worth a little bit more. But if it's more of a tear down house, then you can mostly just get it for land value only.
Yeah.
So land value only is like probably around 700,000 or even less if you get the right property. But yeah. And usually after once you get subdivided or rezoned, the property will appreciate a lot higher because sometimes developers are looking for something that's more ready to go where they don't have to go through that process of getting it rezoned. So like if they want to start right away, they'll be willing to pay a little bit higher to buy a property which they can start construction right away. So like you can even get it appreciated like 50 to $100,000 like within like 6 months just for doing the rezoning process.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Got it. Super cool.
And then obviously if you decide to go through with the whole construction process yourself,
Mm.
you'll get a higher return.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Love it. What about I mean, just let's say someone's not going to be in Chilliwack to manage things. When you think about certain taxes, even the market rate of a property management company or an Airbnb manager, cleaning, like is it pretty average to most other places, or is there some kind of scarcity or even a surplus so that actually all makes sense?
No, it's the cleaners are pretty readily available in Chilliwack, a lot of management companies as well. The rate's about the same as the rest of the Fraser Valley, Lower Mainland. They're not charging much of a premium. Because you have to realize Chilliwack's only like one hour max, 1.5 hours away from Vancouver.
Yeah.
So you're not traveling too far away either.
Yeah, you're not going to the island or anything like that.
Yeah. Especially like Abbotsford, which is a pretty big hub now. So there's a lot of businesses available through, like if it's not directly available in Chilliwack, people come from Abbotsford, which is only like half an hour away, and you can readily find any like business available in Abbotsford.
Got
Yeah.
it. Makes a lot of sense. In terms of access to, I don't know, distressed properties, unlisted properties, exclusive pre-sales, all that fun stuff, are those things that you see often, either through your team or in general? Like, what's the opportunity in the next 6 months to a year, given high interest rates, and just where do you see things going? Of
Yeah, there's a lot of pre-sales happening, but I've noticed most of them are on leasehold lands, which a lot of
Right.
investors don't prefer,
course.
just because the appreciation is not as high, and it's not like you
Yeah,
don't actually technically own the
of
parcel of
course.
land.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And yeah, so the ones that I did notice that were on freehold land, like they pre-sold pretty quickly, and now like people that bought in the last like 2 3 years, they've either like rented out those properties or flipped them, and they've got a good rate of return on those.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And
And then
then,
obviously there's always the occasional like foreclosure or like bank sale, which you can always get a good deal on. But with those kind of things, you have to go in unconditional with the offer. So
yep,
if you
subject.
have if you have cash ready, then it's a good you always get a good deal with a foreclosure sale.
Right. And are those things
Yeah.
like they're not really posted on the market, are they? Are they things that you hear about, or how do
A lot of them are listed, but then we have connections with some foreclosure agents where they'll give us a heads up of what's coming on the market as well out
Sure.
there. Yeah.
Got it. And I guess maybe to wrap up, just so, because people are looking at all kinds of areas now, but Chilliwack's one that looks particularly interesting. If you think of Chilliwack versus Abbotsford, Langley, or even Surrey, like why do you think it's going to be a top place for rental dollars and appreciation? If there's anything you want to talk about that you didn't cover at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, just the growth of the overall city, right? All these businesses are coming in. They're expecting like to create like I think I saw a report somewhere where they're expecting to create like over 100,000 jobs within the next like 5 to 10 years, which is a lot of people moving into that city. I think the population's only like 80,000 in the city right now. So if they're adding that many people, then they have to live somewhere as well too, right? Unless they're all commuting from other cities, but most people prefer to live in the city that they work in as well, right? So there's a lot of room for growth. Plus, with I think Red Bull announced their factory too, so that's going to be a lot of jobs as well created through that.
So what? Sorry, through
The Red Bull is doing like
Red
their
Bull. Yes.
manufacturing plant there
Right.
now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's going to be a lot of jobs with that as well.
Yeah, that's huge. Hey, man, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. This is great.